All right, I just wanted to make a a quick little disclaimer at the beginning of this video. As you get into the part of the video where I'm talking about the update on the truck, I'm using my iPad now to record more when I'm in the truck. When I'm out and about, I use my phone, but the iPad has a better microphone on it. And so, you know, if I'm just sitting in the truck and it's got a better picture, I can use the FaceTime feature like I'm using now and still have a wide angle. And it's just a much nicer gadget than the iPhone for this regard. But I did not know where the camera lens was on the FaceTime side of the iPad when I was recording this. So you'll see me talking and I'm thinking I'm looking at the camera, which I think I am now. You know, you can't really see yourself looking at the camera, because if you're looking at the camera, you're not looking at the screen. But I think I see myself now. I think I'm looking at the right spot. Yeah. So I wasn't before. I was looking like this the whole time. I was looking at the wrong side of the iPad. So it looks really weird, like I'm just looking off into space as I'm talking, but I'm thinking I'm focusing on you, the audience, but I'm focusing on the wrong part of the iPad. So I apologize. It's just weird, you know, especially towards the end where I'm saying have a good day and all that stuff, and I'm looking somewhere else. But you'll have enjoy the video, I hope. And that was just a little arbitrary disclaimer at the beginning of this video. So here we go. Good morning, guys. Well, we are at the delivery in Shoemakersville, Pennsylvania. So we're gonna wait to get this all offloaded, and while we're doing that, I'm gonna go make my bed, because, well, every good day starts with a made bed, right? So let's go ahead and get that taken care of, and yeah, this should be the video that we're talking about the update on the truck. I should be able to. Yeah. So yeah, from here we're gonna go pick up a load that picks up a little later in down in South Jersey. So I don't mind going to South Jersey. It's North Jersey I don't like to go to. North Jersey is terrible to go. Oh my gosh. But South Jersey I don't mind one bit. That's not too bad, other than the toll roads to get in there. It's a pretty easy area to navigate. So picking up that load, and that load's going down to Mobile, Alabama. And I'm kind of excited because I haven't been down anywhere near that far south in quite a while. So be a nice change of pace, change of scenery for me. And oh, they're working on me now. And so yeah, kind of looking forward to it. Not a whole lot coming out of that area, but I kind of expected that. So if I have to, I'll deadhead a little bit. There's one load I'm looking at. I'm trying to get a little bit more from the broker for it. But we will just see what happens, I guess. If he doesn't want to give me any more, then I mean, he's pushing it at a decent rate for right now, just to get out of the area. So I might still take it even if I don't get the better rate. But I mean, it's still regardless, it's still over $3 a mile. It's just not it's just not $3 a mile on a lot of miles. $3 a mile on, I think, 360 miles. Plus, it's 150 mile to deadhead up to where the load is picking up at. But it puts me in a little bit of a better area. So I might still snag it if it's available. We'll see. But let's go make that bed. Figure two, real quick, I'll show you the clamp that broke on my that big boot on the twin turbo here. I'll show it to you now. It'll be in the it'll be in the next video, because I already got that video and everything rendered and ready to go. But I'm gonna put this video out first. But here we go. See how she's doing still? Yep, this one right here. The like I said, this whole setup looks differently with the single turbo cats, but yeah, this one right here is the clamp that broke on me, and I was sucking in some. I had a little boost leak right there, but the guys at the TA, they were able to fix this. What happened was, see, there's like a little T connector right there, and that T connector somehow got twisted out and pulled out through that hole. So yeah, see, here's a newer one. Here's, see that clamp right there? Well, it got twisted out somehow and pulled out, so I think we're okay though for now. Yeah, it's been good so far anyway, and I've gone through the hills of Pennsylvania and I haven't had an issue, so it seems to be better. All right, on to the update. All right, guys, we'll see if we can't do this update here real quick. Well, just to kind of tell you guys what I've done to the truck, and you know, the money I put into it and all that stuff since I bought it. The dreaded Ohio truck sales Peterbilt. All right, see here, I got to go into my emails and find the invoices, and that sun is terrible. Holy cow. All right, anyway. All right, they don't seem to be unloading me too fast, so hopefully I've got time to do this. Kind of like filming with my iPad. It's different. Okay, anyways, besides that, let's go ahead and get to this here. Now, pretty much everything I've done to this truck has been done at the shop that I frequent, at Keith's Truck and Trailer. So there's really not been anything outside of them. So like no other invoices to deal with. I'm trying to think if there's been anything else. No, just them. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's open up my email. I bought this truck back in 21, so trying to find where the Cascadia ends and this one begins. Maybe this one here. Let's see. Ooh, I think this might be it. No, there's a whole bunch of it. Let me see which one. Which one? There's the Peter car. That's my trailer. Okay, here we go. Here's one thing right here. Alright, so yeah, okay. So right now we've got, this was from, what was the date on this? 11/13/2021. So on this invoice, I believe this is the one that they did. Yep, okay, this is the one that they did right after I bought the truck. Before I even put it on the road. This is what they did. Alright, so they did the service, so filters, oil, basic PM stuff. And then had them take an oil sample from the truck when they did that. Let's see, and then we also did replace both hood cables. So they replaced both. And there's some things too, guys, at Keith's that they'll do that maybe I don't even notice that needs done. And they will, some people may not like it, but they'll take it upon themselves to fix it. Maybe it's because I'm just such a frequent customer, they don't worry about, you know, bugging me about it. I just basically tell them just to go for it. You know, whenever I bring the truck in, I give them a list of things I want done, and they know that if they find something else that's like not too catastrophic, crazy high, for a maintenance, you know, repair bill, they'll just go ahead and do it. You know, like a leaky wheel seal that might just be super fresh that I didn't see, or hell, even the fuel lines, you know, things like that. But let me see here. So, all right, we got replaced both hood cables, tightened the hood mount, bushing bolts, replaced rubber seals in both glide hands. All right, that's minuscule. I don't think they really needed that, but anyway. Check for load lights not working. The lights on the back of the sleeper. They weren't working, so they had to do some rewiring. Let's see here. Located and replaced the short in the wire for the inside the bunk for the lights. Replaced left drive wheel seal. Cleaned brake shoes. Let's see here. Tightened up carrier bearing yoke nut. Replaced U-joint strap kit. Installed 4 bunk lights and wired in repaired reverse light wiring. Installed trailer cord hose tender kit. Alright, so that's what they did on that invoice. Came out with labor. Of course, the labor was the majority of everything, as it usually is. But their labor, though, is only, like I've said before, about $73 an hour. The total on that invoice was $1,760. Let me go ahead and just put that in the calculator here. Now we move on to the next invoice. I think, was that was this one. What about this one here? That was trailer. That was the Cascadia. All right, so that was it for that one. Okay, so here we go. This was another. I put it in the shop just for some stuff because I was off for a few days, so I just gave them the truck to do some things I just wanted to get done. Let's see here. I was having that kind of draw issue. I felt like the volts gauge seemed to be kind of low. Things like that. Let's see. They checked and load tested the batteries. They repaired bad stud. Batteries tested okay. Replaced fuel filters. Installed new EV2 low beam bulbs. Replaced passenger side elbow on the muffler. Installed inverter and check operation. All checks okay. And I also bought some new high beams. They put the low beams in while I was there. Those are those speaker headlights that are heated, and they didn't. So I went ahead and bought the high beams too, and threw those in later on in the week. The total for that was $2,266. So let's go ahead and do this. Now, of course, the headlights were just extras. I didn't have to have them, but the factory headlights on this were terrible. And those headlights that I have on this truck for all 4 was right at $1,000. So $250 a piece. So $1,000 for headlights. Like I said, it's kind of an added, just kind of an extra. I didn't really need them, but they sure do make night driving a lot easier. But I'll include that in the cost of what I did to this, or what I've done to this truck anyway. So that was, let's see here. What did I say that was? $2,260? $2,266. Okay. So now we're at $4,000 or $4,026. All right, let's go find what should be the last invoice, which I just got a few days ago. Yep, here we go. This is the last invoice. This is what they did. Yeah, there's 25 hours of labor on this one. So yeah, there was quite a bit done. All right, so they serviced the truck again. It was due for another PM, so all that good fun stuff. And then they also did, let's see here. There's a bunk light bulb that I just burnt out right before I turned it in there, so they went ahead and replaced that. The right steer axle wheel seal was leaking, so they replaced that. They also replaced the brake shoes and the spring kits on the steer axle, as well as the brake drums, so it's got all new brakes up front. They replaced the AC condenser, so now I've got cold AC. They recharged the system. They replaced the accumulator. They installed the outside temperature gauge, which is that new gauge I bought. They repaired an air leak in the driver's seat. Let's see here, resealed the roof. You know how I was getting leaks from time to time. And I'm still getting a little leak back here. I'm wondering if it's not coming from where the bunk meets where the bunk meets to the, or meets the cab. That might need sealed. Let's see here. I told them too there's a little bit of a driveline vibration from the back. And wanted them to check that out because, you know, I didn't know if it wasn't slinging grease anywhere. But I still wanted them to see what it was. I was guessing maybe a tire had a broken belt or something. But they just, you know, put grease in it, and they, let's see here, they checked out the vibration, reset the ride height to the correct setting. So apparently the ride height must have been a little out of whack, and when your ride height is out of whack, for anybody that doesn't know, that can cause a vibration because it causes too much of an angle on the U-joints, and it can create a little bit of havoc there. But it wasn't slinging, like I said, it wasn't losing any fluid. It wasn't like it was beating anything up. But over time it would have. Let's see here. There was an issue I had up here with the cigarette lighter, the adapters here. I don't smoke, but I plug my stuff into here, you know. And I was talking about this, I think, before. I had a Speedco fix my taillights because the wiring got screwy on it. Oh, there's something I forgot about. That is something that I had done, but that only cost $80. But anyways, they had to rewire some stuff back there, and after they rewired stuff to get the taillights working, I kept blowing fuses for the cigarette lighters. And so they looked into that for me, and they fixed that. So let's see here. I had them replace the thermostats, and I feel like maybe now that was a waste of money, but I'm kind of wondering if I don't have a faulty gauge. I don't know. But I would never get above 175 on my temperature, and I keep hearing that on these Acerts you want to have 190 degrees operating temperature. So, you know, I had them replaced with supposedly a higher temperature thermostat, but it hasn't really changed anything, so I don't know. Let's see here. Oh, I also had them do an overhead on the engine, which they said didn't really seem necessary. They said as they were doing it, everything seemed to be nice and tight, but yeah, they went ahead and did that. They replaced 2 coolant hoses and clamps, and this is also the same invoice where they did the fuel lines, but I don't see it on here. Unless I already said that. Yeah, fabricated and replaced fuel lines to the fuel tank. So they did that. And that invoice was $3,671. So we'll say $3,087. So we'll say $3,672. And I'll add the $80 in from the Speedco with the taillight issue. Alright, so the grand total comes out to be just a hair under $7,720. So, that's what I put into the truck in the first 3 months that I've owned it. Like I said, $1,000 of that were the headlights. And then, of course, your typical PM. I've had 2 of those done, so that's probably about $1,000 between the 2 of those. So you're talking about $2,000 right there. You know, 1,000 of that $2,000 was just stuff you got to do anyway, every so often. Doesn't matter how old the truck is. or how new the truck is or anything. And then, of course, the headlights were just an unnecessary, well, not unnecessary. They were just an extra expense. I don't know. Unneeded, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, so they were there. So yeah, so that's what we got. $7,718 is roughly what we have spent. Like I said, if you take that $2,000 away, then we're down to $5,718. You know, and that's over a course of 3 months. You know, again, this is a truck that I bought at Ohio Truck Sales. I'm not saying that everybody's going to have this kind of luck. Knock on wood, but so far it's been a good truck to me. This has been, you know, this is all I've had to do to keep it run, to keep things good. You know, like I said, I have an earlier video on here where DOT in Michigan pulled me behind the scale and did a level, what is it? A level 2? I think it was. Yeah, level 2. Inspection, and I passed it. You know, they didn't get me. The one thing they got me on, and this wasn't the truck's fault, it was just I didn't have the reflector tape on the mud flaps themselves. I didn't think I needed them when I had a trailer, because you don't need mud flaps, period. If you have a trailer, and the officer even admitted, yeah, you don't need the mud flaps if you have a trailer, but you need the mud flap reflector tape. But what if you don't have the mud flaps or the hangers for the mud flaps? Where are you going to put that tape? You know, I was kind of like, okay. But, you know, he was a real cool dude. Like I said, he let me go without even writing that up on the report, even as a warning. He let me go as no violations found. So that was pretty awesome of him. But it just kind of stumped me. I'm like, how can they make it so that you have to have reflective tape on the mud flaps, but you don't have to have the mud flaps? You know? So, that was just kind of weird, but it is what it is, you know. Just part of operating a truck out here. But so yeah, that's the update, guys. This truck has been so far so good. Like I said, I'm glad I got the AC condenser fixed, so now it's in good shape. It's blowing cold. I actually was able to test it in Missouri a couple weeks ago, and it was pretty. It felt like it could have been a little colder, but maybe that's just because I'm used to a newer truck. I don't know. It kind of had moments, like it kind of fluctuated a little bit. So I don't know, maybe that's something else. Maybe the compressor needs replaced. I don't know. But if it does, and it shows itself as needing to be replaced, then we'll do that. But that's a very small job. So anyways, that's it, guys. That's really all this video is going to be, is about the update. I got really nothing else to say, except I'm going to grab some coffee. Got it at Rutter's here. And they really are taking a lot longer to unload me than I thought they would. Oh, yeah. The new name of my channel. I've decided to call it Survive to Thrive. I don't know how cheesy it sounds to some people. But my explanation for that right now is because fuel prices right now, and I brought this up in another video when I was getting fuel. Fuel prices are astronomically high right now. They are, I mean, just crazy high. And I was stupid enough to sell a Cascadia that got over 8 miles to a gallon, and I bought this jalopy. I freaking love this jalopy, though. Don't get me wrong. I love this truck. This truck makes my job more enjoyable. It just does. I just love this truck. But the fuel mileage on this truck is absolutely atrocious. I don't think I need to, point that out, but it's absolutely atrocious. It's better than a lot of people claim to get with these 379s. I'll say that, but I think that's because of my gearing. I've got 3¼ gears. So, you know, on flat ground, it's not too bad. I've gotten as high as 6.5 miles per gallon with this truck. Only once, but I did get as high as, and no, I wasn't empty. I wasn't deadhead, and I was loaded. I was loaded. I was light, but I was loaded. But yeah, 6.5 miles per gallon was the best I've gotten with this truck. Now, that was with zero idling or anything like that. Typically, even with idling and all that stuff, I'm usually in the low fives. The very low fives, but the low fives. So anyway, with that said, I'm changing the, I was talking about how if you can survive during the bad times out here, then you can thrive during the good times. And these are some bad times. These are some bad times out here. Yeah, the rates are good. The rates are really good still. But the fuel costs are just crazy high. And it really just eats, really any, whatever the rates look like, how good they look, the fuel just takes that away. Especially when you're driving a truck like this. And I know that. I knew that before I bought it. But the point of the name, Survive to Thrive, is if you can survive now, you can thrive later. And that's kind of the point, And I'm surviving with this truck for now. Things can change at the drop of a hat. But for right now, I'm surviving with this truck. And so I know that if I can survive now, whenever these fuel prices stop being crazy, I'm no economy expert. I don't know when everything's going to go back to normal. But whenever it does, I'll be able to thrive because I survived these crazy times that we're in right now. And same goes for anybody else out there that's driving. Even if you're, company driver or whatever. Survive to thrive. That's just the way it is. That's what we're doing out here. And that goes for any aspect in life. Any facet of your life. If you can survive the hard times, then you can thrive during the good times. And I almost kind of feel like that sounds like a cheap saying that you'd hear Joe Dirt say. But it's the truth. So that's what I'm naming the channel. Survive to Thrive. Like I said, I'm not putting the Levi in the name because, well, what if I get rid of this truck? Then I won't have a Levi anymore. I suppose I'd have to buy another dark blue truck. So that's just the way that is. But I think Survive to Thrive has more meaning to it. So, anyways, I feel I'm back there now. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. And I hope you guys all take care and be safe out there. And remember, survive to thrive, right? Oh, man. It sounds okay. Sounds kind of, I don't know. I'm bad at coming up with names. But Survive to Thrive is the new name. So, y'all have a good one out there. Be safe. And take care. And I hope the weather's okay where you're at. It's beautiful here right now. I think it's warming up. The sun's going to start melting soon. So yeah, see y'all later.